What's going on, guys? Long time no see. I've got some new equipment, one piece of new equipment anyway. I was figured I'd make a video about it and do some general updates, talk about the rest of my equipment and what's been going on and whatnot. As far as the business side, everything's going really good. I've actually did some calculations a few weeks ago, counted up what I've made before expenses, and I've already made as much as I made the entire season last year. So business then is doing very well. Health wise, a couple of weeks ago I kind of pulled something in the right side of my back, this lower back here. I was fishing and I walked up the riverbank, and it's steep riverbank, and I don't know what I done. I kind of pulled something, and it took me a little while to get over that. I had to be careful what I did, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Last Wednesday, went to the doctor over just general checkup, and their scale said I weighed 427. The last time I was at the doctor, it was 440. So I have lost weight. But my scale is now saying that I finally broke 400. Here lately, I've been saying about 400, 405. Well, after this past weekend mowing, I'm down below 400 now. I don't know if water weight I lost or exactly what, but it's reading anywhere between 390 and 400 of my scale, which I don't understand how there's a 20-some pound difference between my scale and their scale, but I'm going to go with my scale. And I probably have said it before, but I love peanut butter, and how I judge my scales by that is I buy peanut butter in a 4-pound jar, and the scale will my scale will read that as like a 3.8 or something, you know, very close to 4 pounds. So I trust that it's pretty accurate, but I can literally move the scale just very little and get on and get a different weight. I don't even have to move it and I can get a different weight. So I don't know what to think about that, but I'm going to go with my scale saying that I'm below 400 now. But anyway, so health and business wise update, and for the mower, no problems really. I've kind of gotten over the fact that about the cut quality. It cuts good and level, it just don't cut as clean as I would like. And I did try the high lift blades again not too long ago, and I think it done better that time around. I think what I may have to do is just run gators in the spring, and then about midsummer switch over to high lifts or something. I don't know, but still yet in high grass it bogged the motor down a little bit with the high lifts. But overall I can't really complain about the mower, not like I was anyway. But I still plan at some point, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or next year or when or what or however, I'm going to get another zero turn. I still ain't made up my mind if I'm going to go with a new or used one or not. Probably a used one. I've got some stuff that I'm wanting to trade, and if I could find somebody willing to trade, I'd probably trade that stuff for a decent quality used commercial zero turn, 48 inches or bigger if I could find one. I've got a tiller that I would trade. I've got something in the cabinet in my bedroom that takes 6.5 Freedom seeds that I would trade. My Stihl combi setup I would trade. I'm wanting to sell or trade it because I don't use it as a weed eater no more, and it's too heavy as a hedge trimmer to use. As a pole saw, it's not too bad, but I'm wanting to trade it, and just a few various things I'd want to trade. I see the battery on this thing's getting a little low, so I'm going to try and wrap this up pretty quick. Like I said, the combi setup I would trade. The Echo I'm probably going to get rid of because I don't use it no more. I kind of like it. It's definitely underpowered, but I kind of like it. But I'd say my helper, I'll end up trading with him on it or something. But Update on the Husqvarna. You see I got the Husqvarna, the Red Max, and the Stihl. I love the Husqvarna. I've got a Shakespeare head on it now. I love that weed eater, but what I don't like about it is it's cold-natured. Between every single yard, when I get to another yard, I have to choke it to get it to start, or at least to get it to start quick. And the Red Max is the same way, but I think it needs this carburetor cleaned or something. The fastest way I found to get the Red Max going is to choke it, prime it, and then start it. And while it's running with the choke on, pull the trigger and more or less flood it. Do that twice, then take it off choke, pull it, and it'll run good. It starts up and runs pretty good. I think that's a carburetor problem. I don't think that's really it being cold nature. I think that's just it taking a lot to get fuel into the carburetor. But once it's going, it's good. But I do believe in the near future I'm going to get another 525 LST. And when I do, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the Red Max as a backup or retire it or trade it, sell it, or whatever. I believe I'll be rocking 2 525 LSTs and the 111R. As a doctor with my lab results, for whatever reason, my iron is still low. My A1C is like a 5.4 or something there, but everything else I was wanting to check out was good. Oh, another health-related deal. I'm getting new glasses. This arm broke. This is just an arm off a different pair of glasses. So I'm getting new glasses. They're being made. It's just probably another week or so and I'll be getting them. But anyway, so back to equipment. So that's about the weed eaters. Let's see. The push mowers. The red one, I may have said in the video, a buddy of mine stopped by the house with that red one. He was kind of needing money. He said it didn't run, and I went ahead and bought it off of him, 50 bucks. And I think it needs the carburetor cleaned and the tank drained. I've just been too lazy to do that. The yellow one runs good. I had it in storage. I had to pull it out because the green one, the one we use around the house all the time, it's gotten where it don't run good. So I need to work on that stuff sometime. I've just been too lazy to do it. But so another thing, I don't know if I've shown on video or not. Let me get a flashlight so y'all can see it. I have a 15-gallon tank sprayer, and this cart like deal that I made, it's actually the rear part of a frame from a Cub Cadet zero turn. I've got those pieces of angle bolted on there so where it will keep straight behind the tractor. That I need to, if I keep using this tractor, I need to kind of redo that setup because it swings a little side to side. And those are just caster wheels off the front of a Billy Goat lawn vacuum that I don't have no more. The biggest problem with this setup is because the caster wheels are mounted like that, the wheels are actually dragging backwards from what they should, so it messes it up because of that. But I'm actually got a hitch and a piece of tubing that I ordered on the way. I'm going to try and make a mount so I can put that tank on the front of the zero turn. And I believe that no more often than I would need to use the big tank. It should be fine with that much weight on the mower like that, or I can maybe find some way to support it or something, I don't know. But I'm going to try and make it to where I can put that tank on the zero turn. This tiller, this is my dad's old tiller. It's like 10 years old or something, and this year it finally really tore up. We've never done nothing at all to this thing other than just service the motor and keep oil in the transmission until this year. This upper handle is new. It don't come with this or anything, but just the handle itself is brand new. That was the first thing that happened. The original handle broke. And then there's a drive shaft from here back in that long tube part of the transmission. It's got worm gears for both axle drives. One of the bearings, I think it's this front bearing, it's actually a needle bearing in a race. The oil level got too low in the transmission and that bearing seized on that shaft. So I put both new needle bearings and races in it. The tine axle ball bearings are new. The wheel axle bearings were good. I put new wheel axle, tine axle, and front seals in it. And I put new tines on it. So this tiller is like brand new. We've only used it for like 5 minutes since I rebuilt it. I actually ordered a new tiller for Dad off of Home Depot and had it shipped to the house. So he needed a tiller in the time it was taking me trying to get that thing fixed. So I'm going to probably sell that tiller because I've got another big tiller that I need to work on. I'm just too lazy to. It's my papaws. I need to do some work on it. It won't take a whole lot, but what I got to do is going to be difficult. I need to get a rim off of it, either cut it off or heat it and beat it off or something. I don't know. You got to get that rim off and replace the axle seals. They leak so bad that you can't keep fluid in the transmission. But I had put a different motor and repainted that thing, and then realized it was leaking so much that it wasn't worth trying. I took the motor off, put it on something else. But anyway, I'll probably end up selling that tiller. I don't do tilling on the side because it bothers my back too much. If I had a tiller for this tractor, I might would try to do it or something. But anyway, that's about it for just the general stuff. I have bought a couple of new tools and stuff. I got a 3/8 inch impact bowyer from Harbor Freight and a tire inflator to keep in the truck all the time. I've thought about for years about getting another impact to keep in the truck, and finally done it since the 3/8 drive was cheap. And it's got plenty of power to take the bolts off the mower deck for the blades. I've already done it before, works perfect. I bought that creeper because it helps, but it's not the best situation, but it does help, because trying to scoot around on my back under a mower is just waiting to happen. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Just going to loosen, I'm just going to open something up in my back, like the space between the discs, or do something trying to do that and herniate another disc. So I can kind of lay on that thing and scoot around a lot easier. I've tried it once and it worked pretty good. For some reason, my my foam cannon, I don't even know if I'm pointing at it, but it's right there. My foam cannon has gotten to where it don't want to work right, and I don't know why exactly. I took it completely apart and tried to clean it, and it didn't help it much. But the angle grinder, I think I might have shown this in video or talked about it, or not angle grinder, bench grinder. I've not even used it yet. I need to try and pull it out and try and see how it does on the blades, about sharpening them. I bought that jack this year as well. I've thought about buying one for a long time, just something more that's safer about lifting stuff. I can lift higher, because usually, like say if I were to lift the back end of this tractor or this zero turn, I've always just used like a bottle jack or a scissor jack, and that sucks. It just don't work good. And I think the biggest reason I went into buying that thing this year is because I changed the front shocks on my truck before I bought it, and then I was using that little automotive jack on that shelf over there and whatnot, and was having to put it on the cap block, and it's barely big enough that it barely would fit in on the cap block, and it's just a sketchy situation all around. So it's just good to have that on hand in case I need it. I felt it's worth it. That's about it. I need to work on the 320. I bought that this past winter because I I thought if I was going to use both tractors, and I bought that one to have a third tractor as a backup. And then not long after that, I got zero turn, and I ended up selling one of the tractors. So I gotta fix that thing up so I can sell it. I should make a profit off of it, I believe, or at least break even. But anyway, you've seen it now already, but this here is the newest piece of equipment. This is a Stihl BR400. I have the little cap deal, it won't stay in there, but as y'all can see, this thing is in really good condition. I mean, it looks about perfect. It does have some tape there on the tube, but that's about it. But this thing is just in really good shape. I found it on Marketplace for sale in Coburn, Virginia, which is about an hour away from me. And I talked to the guy, and he said that he could meet me in Big Stone, which is about halfway between me and him. I didn't even ask him if he'd meet me. He just said he would meet me there. So I went yesterday morning, done blood work, and then headed up to Big Stone and met him there, and then we talked and looked it over, fired it up, run good and everything. He asked me what I'd give for it. I said, well, you're asking $200, right? He was asking $200. He said, I tell you what, $175. I didn't even try and ask him, talk him down. That's just what he said. And I tried to insist on him taking the $200. I would have given him $200 for it in the condition it's in if I had to go to Coburn. But I tried to insist he wouldn't take, he wouldn't take the $200. So finally, I gave him $175. Then he gave me $5 back and said, "Here you go. I'll go buy you some breakfast or something." I was like, "Well, I already did when I left the doctor." So it's a really good buying experience. I mean, you don't come across deals like that very often, and if I can set you all up somewhere here, I'll try and get y'all, you can see, and fire it up. Hopefully y'all will stay there till you can see. Okay, switch on, choke. This thing has not run since yesterday. It's been like 20 hours or more since his last run, so it's cold as can be. $170 running in 2 pulls. You can't beat that. The guy said he always runs stable in his gas. Every time he uses a piece of equipment, he drains the gas after he gets done, he says. He said, like the day before he weed eated, when he got done, he drained the gas out of his weed eater, because just in case he couldn't get back to, soon weed eating again or whatever. He's took it to the shop. Just every so many years or whatever, he'd be like, "Well, I need to take this thing, it's been a while since it's been in the shop." He'd just take it to the shop. This last winter or fall, whenever it was, just a few months ago, had a new spark plug and filter and stuff put in it, tuned up. This thing is like, it's practically like brand new. I mean, the plastics are hardly even faded, really. Especially the gas tank. Of course, I know it may be just a difference in, but look at that. Of course, this weed eater's been used a lot, but look how much that gas tank is discolored, especially on that Red Max too. But look at this thing. There's hardly even any discoloration to it. $170. And this is like, I think the only size bigger than this at the time was like a 420. So this is like almost the biggest blower you could buy back then. I may be wrong on that, I don't really know, but the only number I've seen bigger than a 400 is a 420. So if you ask me, it's one hell of a deal. But why did I buy it? Well, I believe that this year I'm going to have quite a bit of leaf cleanups and some big ones. If I don't have very many, I'm going to have some big ones. I've got a few that are big anyway, and then there's another one, a client I just started doing this year, that I'm going to try and get the leaf cleanup for her place, and it'll be a damn big one. So I've wanted to try and get another cheap blower. I really wanted to trade for one. I'd like to trade some fishing stuff that I'm trying to sell, maybe that push mower or something there. Just some cheap stuff for a cheap blower. And can't find no local deals. Everything's out far away from here, seems like. But anyway, so I've got me 2 backpack blowers. Should be good to go for this fall. If anything, I could try and have my helper use the 600, and I'll use that one in the handheld because I know he won't use both of them at the same time. I've used a handheld and a backpack blower at the same time. I ain't afraid to either. You know, multitask, get the job done. But anyway, that's the main reason. That's the main thing I was going to make this video about, and it ended up being an all-around update. But I'm doing it again, RAYRAY. I'm buying a bunch of shit. But this year definitely doing a lot better than I was last year. I ain't buying random bullshit that costs quite a bit that I don't need. I'm not paying out a shitload of money repairing equipment. I ain't gonna say repairing junk, because what I repaired last year wasn't junk. I made a lot of money off the stuff I had to fix last year. You get a high amount of hours, a high amount of use, stuff starts breaking on you. That's what I ran into with that tractor and the GT235 and the Cup Cadet 2. But anyway, hours on the zero turn, 140. I've put almost 130 hours, well, probably a little bit over that, 130 hours on this machine so far this year. Just a few more hours and I'll be doing another oil change. I need sometime very soon, before Friday when I mow again, I need to get deck cleaned off some and hit it just a little bit with some grease, change the blades, blow out the air filter. Just a little bit of maintenance before I get going again for this coming weekend. But that's about it. But anyway, I'll try and make a couple more videos every now and then, sometime or another, and I'll see y'all later.